sure it's labeled to however you would like it to be labeled. You literally, super easy. You're just gonna go like this and start your timer. What we used to do when I was doing this as a student, we did something like this. Depart and hydrate on Wally. And then we do DC on Wally. And then we did Mount right here. And then what we did was then we would go like this. Heme. And then I would be like, E, what's the function of heme? And then we would write down what the function is. And then we would put the water wash next. We would say, what is water wash doing? Now, clarifier. And we would do this every single day. And we would talk about like what the function is. And then at the bottom, then we would write like, how long are you guys in heme this time? How long?
Maybe 5 seconds at the moment.
No, but how long are we planning to stay here?
Oh, I think to start, like 10 to 15 seconds.
Okay. So then we can go ahead and move over.
90 seconds.
So then after that, then we would write 90 seconds. And instead of leaving it sitting like this, we're gonna run it just like we did during your guys' Frozen's H&E. Well, not necessarily during your Frozen's, but you're gonna do about, yeah, it's a pretty good run. Okay, and do you see how it's like overflowing and everything and the water's flowing out?
Yeah.
So you can do a water wash like that and everything, and then you just let the timer go, and let's say it's like for a minute, and then once that minute is up, you pick up your rack and you put it into the next one, you dump this one, and you'll fill it with more water and you'll put it back over here, okay? If you don't want to do that, other classes will actually duct tape this guy like this to this sink, and then they'll move this over above it, so then it all just overflows into the sink, and they don't have to keep moving it back and forth. I'm not super into it, but
Yeah.
I know some classes are really into it. It's really just up to you. Okay? But then let's say your water wash is up at that point and everything. And also, do you see like the heme hasn't cleared enough? So I probably would be like, I'm actually going to use a little bit more of an aggressive force on it. Or I would be like, hey, I'm going to wait till it's done, till it clears out. But that is completely up to you guys. There is no right or wrong. Okay? It's all just about trial and error. But let's say we're ready to move on to clarifier. Then I would now start my timer for clarifier. Sorry, I shouldn't have picked that up and looked at it. But you see what I mean? Where it's like we're moving back and forth and everything. There's a lot of downtime over here, so there's really no reason why you guys won't have enough time to sit and study together. You guys can use the whiteboards to write on stuff, but use this time to work on your homework assignments, to also work on preparing for the next run and talking about, okay, what are your predictions for how this one is going to turn out, and then move to the next. If you guys run out of slides and you guys need to run more slides, like then you would take placenta control slides, so stuff that's dry and has already been cut, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to come over here. We're going to log in. Okay, we're going to hit start. Make sure to pay attention to which one you're choosing. We want depar if we're deparring and hydrating. So we're going to open this, then we're going to load, and then you can obviously hit start. View program if you need to double check. So this is going to be what you're putting on your protocol to start off. If it's going on for DCM, then you're going to hit DCM and you're going to view your program. Okay? Depar and hydrate will end over here in water, like how it would be, because the end result of that is water. Okay? If you're doing DCM, then it's just a normal like xylene. Okay?
This is for your demonstrator showing us for when we're doing that and if we need controls.
And that's it. It's really not that bad. Once your slide is done, obviously you'll cover slip it, you'll look at it as a group. You guys should come up with an answer before you get over to the table with me. I will definitely be like, okay, Richard, what was your opinion on this? What do you think we can change then? Yi, what's your opinion on this? Hoda, what's your opinion on this? No, because I've been running around. It's okay, I'll look at it in a bit. But yeah, so it's really not that bad. But I won't give you an answer until you guys give me an answer. So make sure that you're studied up enough to actually answer my questions. If I can tell that you're not studying, then I'm going to say like, Richard, you're not studying enough. You're not dedicated enough. Okay?
Go home.
Well, depends on just how bad it is.
Well,
like
use
if
your
it's like,
downtime to study.
as that say, yeah, when I was in internship and I would do special stains and stuff, they would tell me to go run a special stain. After my special stain is done, to go take my lunch and then I'd come back. Obviously, it would be super easy to just scroll on my phone during my lunch while I eat, but no, I would just study during that time. And I haven't really lost that mentality. Obviously, a lot of times you guys see that I'm eating my lunch and I'm still working on the computer, and that's why you guys think it's appropriate to talk to me during my lunch break. Okay? So, be smart, don't be stupid, and don't waste your time. You have a lot of time also to be building your protocols while you're waiting too. Because you have to submit even all of the failures. You don't need pictures of the failures, but every single trial that you run has to be submitted if there was a positive end result, like we were able to work it up. Okay? And I need all of those protocols, and you're going to highlight in the troubleshooting area, this is what went wrong and this is what we're changing it to. Okay? So you have more than enough time to sit here. Okay?
Perfect.
And everybody has to submit their own work. You guys are working as a group, yes, but you all have assigned it. It's all assigned to each of you on Canvas. So I am expecting you all to submit something. If, like, let's say Coda, like, let's say you didn't submit something and Richard and Yi did, and you're like, me and my group spoke and we said that Richard was going to submit everything. I could be like, well, Richard can't carry you the whole time, so you got to
I
submit
mean, yeah, look at me. I can't.
I would be the one carrying here.
it. So don't be trying to pull none of that nonsense on me. I'm not going to buy it. It's not going to change. Multiple classes have tried that. You can try too, but it's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah. I figured we would just submit it anyway. We all do something.
Exactly. Okay. Yes.
Make sure I'm understanding because I'm going to cut some
I
more
would cut
controls.
them, yeah.
Those are the ones that I want to depar.
Yes.
Correct. Then we're going to transfer to manual and then finish.
Yes.
So the only thing we're stating is placenta the entire time.
Yes.
Okay.
Placenta is honestly, in my opinion, like one of the best tissue types to use. If you do like GI or anything that's like from the female reproductive system, it has a tendency to stain really light. So when I'm in industry, we don't really get placenta very often, at least where I work, and they're like, just choose whatever. So I always just choose skin because we don't get placenta. And I'm like, skin is a really great option as well too. We have so much excess placenta here because people always donate their placentas. Always use placenta here. Whatever your lab out there chooses as their specific type, they'll have blocks of it pre-made for you and you just need to cut them. You will do whatever they tell you. Okay? At Kaiser, we used to have it like that, but nowadays, nobody's really on top of that, so we just grab whatever.
So
Okay.
it's going to be recommended and it's commonplace within different laboratories to run controls like all the time.
You have to.
Every day.
Every
Okay.
single morning,
Sweet.
I would come in, I would change the stainer, and then I would run my H&E QC slide through there in the morning. And as that's running, I'm setting up, I'm taking stuff off the processor, putting it over at the embedding station, setting up the microtomes, and then I start embedding. And once I hear this stainer go off, then I unload it, I cover slip it, and then I start QCing, and I'm like, okay, we are good to go, and I keep embedding. Then the next tech comes in, and I move on from embedding, and I start cutting what is already solidified. They take over my station to start embedding, and then the next person comes in, and then they start helping me cut everything that's been embedded. And then whoever's done embedding, then they move over to Lab Assist, and they start loading all the slides onto the stainer. That's a small laboratory. Yes.
In industry, if you're working in a more industrial lab and you have later shifts, do they run controls every shift cycle?
It depends on your lab. So when I was at LabCorp, what we would do is every single rack that went through here, or every single run, one of those slides had to at least be checked for the QC quality. At Kaiser, we do it once per day. At some other laboratories, they will, instead of doing it at the beginning of the day, because they're 24 hours, they actually will change the stainer at around midnight or 1. And they'll refilter everything, they'll rotate and waste things that need to be rotated and wasted, and then they run the QC. And that's the official QC of the day, but then we'll still keep going throughout the rest of the day where every single run should have its H&E checked. And really, that is the safest way because it's the quickest way to catch if there's mistakes being made. Another thing too is it may be super simple and easy to forget this entire unit by the time that you guys leave, but I really would encourage you not to because it's really quite funny. My lead at Kaiser likes to make fun of everybody on nights. He's like, everybody on nights wants to say that they're tough, and he was like, but I promise you, none of them can change this stainer and tell me why it needs to be changed. He was like, they'll change it when they're told to change it, but they don't know what any of these things are
When
doing.
to do it themselves.
Yeah,
And how to,
and he's like, so that would maybe make an okay tech, but he was like, you're not great by any kind of means unless you can tell me what all of this is doing and the science behind it.
I love
Which
it.
he has a very good point. You should never try to boast and brag and act like you know everything if you don't know everything. And I also think that it leads into very dangerous territory because I've told you guys before too, it usually leads into where like when I was in industry at like different laboratories and everything, then it would lead into, well, Jasmine's coming in like 3 hours, so we can just like leave the problem for the next 3 to
yeah.
4 plus hours till Jasmine comes in and everything, or whoever else you rely on, because I came in before my lead and everybody always treated me like I was a lead as well too, because they knew I was knowledgeable, because of my experience and because of teaching at the school. So people would rely on me in that way, but you don't always have anybody to rely on. Sometimes you can be in a lab by yourself and it's just you. And you need to be confident and knowledgeable enough that you know what the appropriate action is to do. Okay? So make sure that you're studying.
Yeah, it's crazy how commonplace what you're describing is. Like, it's
Yeah.
sad.
And that doesn't mean that you guys can also be smart mouthy after you leave here either. Like you're nobody right now. I'm sorry, but you're
This is
you're
why I
literally
have
nobody.
to brag.
Yeah.
To
Yes.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
That sample's gonna
So,
clarify.
maybe,
Is it? I thought it was still in water. All right.
ooh, so are we only using,
Oh wait, do we? Got that. Are we gonna do that water rush trick for every single water?
yeah, that was optional.
Could we?
I feel like for heme,
Heme and eosin probably.
well, eosin is
Or
after
flat.
eosin it goes back.
Yeah.